should have checked, but I didn't.
It's okay, it's okay. You're good. Give us a moment. Cool. I'll tell you when. He's just sorting out the line. Good evening, Wordwise. How's it going? Oh, it's January, it's dark, but inside here we are going to see, this is my first metaphor for the night. We are warming ourselves with poetry. It's charming, isn't it? First time back, getting heckled. Right, okay, so we have got so many brilliant poets coming up for you tonight. We've got a really strong, wonderful open mic list, which I'm very excited about. Some regular faces and some first-time performers at Wordwise. So nice little mix. We've also got some Derby Poetry Festival announcements coming up a little bit later on, which is very exciting. So we hang tight for that. Aoife's shaking her head like.
You started a minute ago and you've already dropped me in it.
I know, I'm sorry.
Thanks.
I'm sorry.
Check her anyway.
So, basically, for those that haven't been to Wordwise before, this is how it works. So we have some open micers, we'll tend to have a break, have the last few open micers, and then we have our feature performance for the evening, which is the lovely Emily Rose, who's come from Stoke tonight. And let me just say, transport to Stoke is a bloody nightmare, so big up Emily for getting here. Right, so, open micers, we're going to have 10 of you in the first half. Remember, 5 minutes is your open mic limit. I'm not going to come on with a big hook and hook it off, because that would, well, yeah, that just wouldn't be cool. But let's just respect each other and respect our times and things like that. We are also, the lovely Guntis over there on the sofa is live streaming tonight. I know. Technology. If anyone doesn't want to be on video or be live streamed, it's only people on the stage. If you don't want that, please let us know when you go on the stage and we can arrange that so you're not on the tube of you for the people to see. Cool, so we're going to kick off with our first poet. He's one of our regulars, master of the nature poem, the short poem, and has also done a few epics in his time. Please give it up for Spencer!
Blunt, me, compared to me granddad, I'm a darning needle to a cold chisel. He never said much, but he said what he meant. Direct, compared to me now, I'm a butterfly to a hawk. She went straight for the heart of it. She had no time for flowers. Odd, compared to me uncle, I'm a median to an outlier. He lived as an exception, a genius, a monster. Harsh, compared to them, I'm an eider-down to a coffin lid. I can hear them now, behind me. You lot, you don't know you're born. Stoop or shout, I'll shout. So, January's a bit shit, really. But the good thing about January is it's better than February. Because February is just the shitty January, and that's why it's short. I'm not going to do any nature poems, though. I'm going to do this one next. This is my Belper poem. It's called How Now Browntown, which is like kind of a bit, well, Belper's changed, let's put it that way. Looking down the broad, brown, Derby-bound Derwent, coal measures to the left, pork pies to the right, down the artery that powered the Industrial Revolution, that made the world's first mill town, where once the Frith Court could hang you for taking the Lord's deer for an empty pot. The new lords, strutting their stuff, will hang you for breaking the frames they broke you and yours on. From nail shed to mill hall, from clock on to sign on to shoot up and shut up shop, there's things in Browntown they don't put on the brown signs. So I'm not sure about the last one. I mean, because the Belper one's about where I live now, and the one before that was kind of like where I come from, with my family. I thought I could do another family one, or I could do one about Scarborough, which is where I'm actually from. Scarborough. I might ask that in Scarbados. The Whitby with all the culture taken out. This is called I mean, my mum's from Rutland and my dad's from Scarborough, so we're a bit conflicted as a family. They now live in Slight, which is some kind of reasonable sort of buffer zone between the two. If you don't know, there's a bit of a Whitney Scarborough thing. Definitely. And the accent changes halfway up. In Scarborough, it's proper North Riding. As soon as you get to Whitby, it's like away in Bairn, and it gets a bit Cleveland, and it all sounds a bit too. And this is definitely this thing. It's like a line somewhere around Raven Scarborough, it just flips. Very odd. So this is called seasonal work. Neons swim, fish, and chips in winter puddles here beyond the safety net. We troll gutters for summer's gold, but the tide turns it all into sand. Half-boarded B&Bs fall pretty vacant, only echoes left of boarding passes to the sun. They pour concrete into the south cliff. Between the springs and the surf, we are all just drifting. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? That's Charlotte.
Thank you very much, Spencer, for kicking us off. While you were reading so wonderfully, I thought, I'll post a live stream on our Facebook, and instead of writing "we're live streaming," I almost posted "we're love streaming," which I feel is quite a different thing and shows you can have a career in writing if you are dyslexic. Cool. So, as I told all my students today, so our next performer won Derby Poetry Festival Slam this year. I know! And then posted loads of pictures of himself in the trophy, like sleeping next to it and eating cereal out of it, and it was a whole thing. So I don't know what he's going to do tonight, but I'm excited about it. Please give it up for Jack, everyone!
Hello. I'm going to do some new stuff. May or may not be good. Help me out. First one called 2 Up, 2 Down. Life in a dead-end town gets you down. Stretching the pennies in a 2 up, 2 down. Difficult to wake up, but we don't get too down. It's nearly the weekend, can't wait for a lie down, a night out. A few drinks, a lie in. Phone this far from my face and I'm buying more things I don't need. Don't know if it's greed or boredom, but I'm pretty sure I can't afford them. 2 days off, head straight to the pub, turn the alarm off, don't wake up until midday. Getting sick of doing it this way. Hard to have high hopes on low pay. Bad days are starting to outweigh the good nights. Fell asleep again, face bathed in the light of the shopping channel. On my flat screen telly. I only really bought it to make my mates jelly. It's massive. It's HD, it's 4K. The delivery guy could barely get it through the doorway. I'm okay if I don't think too much. I'm doing really well, in so much as I don't cry, in so much as I'm still alive, though there have been doubts. Saving up my money, gonna buy a way out. I dream about a new job with a regular pattern, but I've got no chance, so for now I guess I'll batten down the hatches. Keep cooking cheap food in batches. Working all the hours just to make ends meet. Take away Friday for a nice treat. Spent a couple hundred on these Nikes, but it's not worked, I still don't like them. The idiot box doesn't get turned off. Need to go to doctor because I've got this cough that I can't shift. And this cloud in my mind that just won't lift. Soon I'll be back on the night shift. Back to that feeling that won't lift. Back to waking up tired. £6 coffees by the cup got me wired. Heart palpitations, pain in the chest. And the sun's going down and I'm still not dressed. Piles of dirty clothes, house is a mess. Now the sun's coming up and I'm still not dressed. I'm a mess. I should get out for a walk. If I could stand the sound of my own voice, I'd talk to someone. Mind fires like a machine gun. Replaying all the bad things I've done. Putting holes in my thoughts. Will I ever be more than the things I thought? Cheers. Another new one. Bit of a departure because it's a bit of a love poem.
Ooh.
Sorry, Southwest. I'm not trying to step on your toes.
It's alright, I've got the notes.
Don't know what it's called. You used to sing like a bird might sing, but recently you've clipped your wings, you don't fly much. Honestly, you have to try much harder than me to be happy. I want you to be. Just lie here with me in silence. Your mind is so used to violence, unrest and mistrust. Please let this just be simple. Fingertips trace the dimple at the bottom of your back. You're more concerned by the things you lack or you think you do. Pull the covers up and I sing to you. If I could hold a note, I'd sing to you about all the beauty that is in you. I'm so ugly without you. You're beautiful, I don't doubt you. Like you do, so severely, so often. I look at you, eyes soften, pupils widen, I stop hiding things. If I could hold a note, I'd sing. I'd show you properly, there'd be no stopping me, chorus and verse, all the right words, show you what you mean to me. I'm opaque, you see through me. Past lovers, they never knew me, and I never really knew love. Like dims, you take your clothes off, we don't speak, our skin meets, I'm weak, you're so strong, this feels right, I always felt wrong before you. If I could, I'd sing how I adore you. Describe how it feels when you're with me. Real life, not Disney. There was no meet cute, but when I'm with you, things are better. I'm not as whole when we're apart. When I'm with you, things aren't as hard. When I'm with you, things are better. I've never been a real go-getter, but for you, I'd go anywhere. I don't care, as long as you're there. For the rest of my life, keep finding your hair in the plug. For the rest of our lives, keep that mug from that cafe where we went that day and knew we were in love. I can't get enough of this thing we created. I don't think we dated, just met, and then we were forever. Most days since then together. There's an invisible tether in my diving suit with 2 weighted boots, and I'm sinking fast, but I know you're there. Keep pumping air, I'm protected. If I start to doubt, don't need to shout, I just pull the cord, you raise me out, you rescue. So when life starts to test you, I'll be there to pull there too. Lift you through the darkness, I'll be your safety harness. The littlest things are the hardest, the longest nights seem darkest. Together, they cannot harm us. Together, they cannot harm us. Cheers.
Nice one, Jack. Thank you for that. Oh, I did a little rhyme by accident. Must have got in your flow or something, man, but it's good, it's good. Right, so the next performer, I'm really excited that he's managed to come down to this event tonight, and I've known Darren for years, and he's always been an all-around good egg, doing just generally wonderful things, and it's great to have him here doing some poetry, so please give it up for Darren, everyone.
It's about how cities speak to us. Glasgow wakes up different from anywhere else in the world. It's not like Paris, easing out of its slumber gently and effortlessly, rolling out the right side of bed, embracing the day with a casual swagger and its usual panache. City dwellers ever ready to accept the unexpected in a city of surprises. Unfurled, unfazed, unaware of their own fragility, resting on their laurels. But then comes the blitzkrieg. Glasgow, however, wakes up different from anywhere else in the world. Unlike Bombay, with its sporadic outbursts of rave-like worship, spiritual junkies waking on gods who hover aloof over rubble and never act. Beats in time to echo location-style tuk-tuks, noise, 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 bzzz, bzzz, bzzz. Reminiscent of bee-like colonies being raided by hornets while the poor cry out, drowned out beneath the din. Bzzz. But Glasgow, it wakes up different from anywhere else in the world. New York, well, that's another story. It doesn't wake up at all. It's been up all night sniffing and trend-setting insomnia, trying to ignore the fact that the torch has been blown out. And the mantle of Pax Romana has fallen to Beijing, yet it's still spreading the news of nostalgia. I have a dream, I have a dream. Let's make America great again, clinging to the cloak of empire like an addict caught in delusion. But Glasgow, it wakes up different from anywhere else in the world. London, sadly it wakes up lamenting, scarred by the screams of burning babies, shocked by the scenes of Ethiopian immigrants free falling out of cheap Lego tower blocks, and the big smoke chokes, and the morning fumes of the filthy rich, and their cowboy-cladding cost cuts, all the while spouting, we're connected, we're connected. Morning rushers in fragile vein-like tubes, ethnic strangers who don't even speak the same language, like Babel personified. But here's the thing, Glasgow wakes up different from anywhere else in the world. Hungover on Buckfast and fried Mars bars, school drop-offs and flip-flops and onesies, mammies wee helpers to ease the jaunt to school, methadone pickups, and iron brew to wash down the luminous gold. Buskers in Buchanan Street, belting out the tunes to welcome in the day and lift the dreary soul. Belting out the tunes. Life would be a canter if you'd just be less of a wanker, even half of the time. Glasgow, a city of grafters, girdled in steely nerves, a city of straight lines and straight talkers built on the backs of Labour's industrial coal. Aye, Glasgow wakes up different, the truth be told. I'm just getting used to writing poetry that's not related to addiction or ADHD, so this is me trying. Have I got time for two more? Possibly.
Depends how long they are.
Because I know you want me to say that.
Try one and then we'll see how we go.
Right, okay. Thank God you got here in time, the nick of time to save his life. If you'd have been just 2 more minutes, you'd have seen firsthand his need to escape, abject living, the lure of death, freedom from all this pain. Fear of life is greater than death. It's a shocking claim to make. If you'd have been 2 more minutes, you'd have been a breath too late, body twitching, slowly drifting, ebbing away. If you'd have been 2 more minutes, you'd have witnessed the curse of time, another life lost to the sickest of crime. Smackdown cave, cartel freebase, hearts straining to stay in the game, lost its rhythm, lost its rate, slowly falling featherweight, tragic story, sorry state, lethal injection, addict's fate. If you'd have been 2 more minutes, you'd have seen his lips turn blue, one too many and more than a few, gone too young, nothing new. If you'd have been 2 more minutes, you'd have seen his body's last attempt to fight back. But there's no coming back from a jack like that, the purest form of Taliban smack. Bile, drooling orifice seep, eyes sunken, slipping sleep, loved one lost, grimmer reaps, dealer does one, Jesus weeps. If you'd have been just 2 more minutes, you'd have seen the colour finally fade, the darkness shadow across his face, skeletal contour, vacant gaze, a lifeless, empty sort of shade. If you'd have been 2 more minutes, you'd have stood helpless, been shocked senseless, watched breathless, his death in the smackdown cave, his broken, beaten body limp, ready for the grave. But thank God you got here in time, in the nick of time to save his life. That was a poem about somebody, I work with addicts, and you know, often people overdose, do you know what I mean? So we do a lot of work with people, and sometimes you just get there in time to save people's lives. So that was it. I've got time to share with you. This is a love poem as well, I think. You can judge for yourself. When we are not together, I think of those early days. I think of the time that our lips first met, like honey dripping in the flesh, the tangled tummy jelly mess. I remember the clunky tongues, like plants searching for the sun. I remember the rush, as tissue touched those kind hands against my rough. I recall the energy, like electricity, sparks, flame, fire, refined. I think of the way your eyes spoke to mine. I think of the way you probed my frame with your gaze, the way those autumn eyes pierced through the mask that I erected to win you. I think of how they searched me deep, mapping my insides, repeat and repeat. I remember the racing heart of mine towards the delicate of yours. When you're not present, I relive those memories we're collecting over and over, again and again, repeat, repeat, the fun, like band with frogs in the winter months of our forming into one. I remember our first date. I remember cycling to meet you. I remember the bike in the back seat of your car, crammed in to protect us from our own passions. A curious form of contraception. I remember. I think of the drive to Durham, listening to old rave tunes and laughing at our own foolishness. I think of eating clotted cream scones and that quaint little calf and pretending that we were posh. When we're apart, I reread and reframe the millions of messages saved on my feed, reliving each cheesy compliment, each flirty thread, each misunderstood response as we fail to read between the lines. I remember hoping that you liked me as much or more than I liked you. I remember the games, the ones we needn't have to play. I remember the chase. I remember pursuit. I remember the prize that the early stages do supply. At times like this, when I'm feeling down, I comfort myself by listening to your laugh as it echoes in my soul from the past. Hearty outbursts, hidden joy that's been buried for far too long, tickles my soul in the form of a genuine smile. I remember the strange sensation, such as a warm prostrate. I remember that I shouldn't think out loud, that I shouldn't have let the pen slide. When you're not present, I imagine the moment when we reconnect and the deep breaths of release, the sacred flashes that stoke the fire, suspended screenshots that reignite. I imagine that when we're distracted, from the distance that separates us now. I imagine a future when we're never apart, never not together, a future bright and filled with colour, a canvas strewn with lovers' ink. I imagine a blaze to come. I imagine more journeying, more fuel for the fire, more foolishness, more fun, more belly laughs, more cheese, more meetings, more of me minus the bike. I imagine more cakes and cream for us to bite. I imagine a fuller, richer, joy-filled life.
Nice one, Darren. Really wicked to see you perform. And also, it's really important to write poems about addiction and ADHD, so don't stop writing those ones either. I think they're just as important. So yeah, hope to see you again at some point reading poems. But thank you so much. Right, so our next open micer has kind of, I suppose, taken on the baton of the Dada Poetry Night. She hosted it so well. And if anyone wants to go, if they've just not got enough poetry in their lives, Dada, first Thursday of the month, host a wonderful poetry night at the cafe. So just putting that out there into the ether. But anyway, it's not about Dada tonight, it's about Jenny. So please give it up as she makes it to the stage.
Cheers, thank you. My daughter moved to Glasgow last year, so on my hit list is deep fried Mars bar. Gotta do it. The first one that I'm going to do, I kind of labour this one in January because it's the only time I can do it, because it's a New Year poem, but it's taking words of all bands, songs, anything to do with music that mentions the word new. So it's simply called New. New year, new you. New life in a mode that's true. New wave brings a new romance with a thin white duke, so let's dance. New for old and old for new. Looking for a New England where new hope shines through. New radicals exchange new ideas with the brand new heavies over a couple of beers. While the New York Dolls, they're rocking it strong in New Amsterdam, and the beat goes on. But for New Model Army, rain stops play, so all is quiet on New Year's Day. Wear new shoes with a new dress, look good on the dance floor and sod the rest. New age brings a new addition No longer new order, just joy's transmission. New year, new you. Get lost in music to trip you out of the blue. Thank you. My next one isn't quite so upbeat, so I apologise for that. I did recite it to my mum and she went, "Oh God, Jenny!" And I went, "Look, I'm okay, Mum." It's called Blue Curacao Sea. A solitary figure stood on a cinnamon shore and looked out at blue Curacao Sea, and she measured the length of each incoming wave to locate the place she'd be free. Seagulls circled above her head, screeching out their bullying cries, and she looked once more at the spray and the spume through swollen, tear-stained eyes. As if enchanted, she strode out through the waves, embracing their strength and cold, and the angry current slapped her face for daring to be so bold. She lifted her feet and dived down deep, for she knew where she wanted to be, resting her head on a pillow of coral on the bed of blue Curacao Sea. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Jenny. I think as poets, we're kind of used to hearing like people talk about really quite intense things all the time, and then we go to our families or out into the normal world and we read our work, and people are like, "Oh my God!" So yeah, I understand that reaction. Beautiful stuff. Right, Joe. Joe was threatening to do music tonight, but he's put his music back away in the car. So let's give it up and hit some with poetry.
I just raised it, Spencer. I can put it
Go for the full levy.
on. The full levy?
Yeah.
I haven't got the hair anymore.
Who of us has?
Yeah, when I blame the missus, she's the one with the clippers. I just wake up and he just looks like this.
I blame the shearer.
I blame that Shearer one.
He's got it coming.
Yeah, I did. I was actually only joking when I said I was going to do music. It's nice to actually get up and do some poetry for a change. Although the three I am doing tonight are actually the lyrics from some of the songs I do. But I don't remember them. I'm really pissed off with what is happening in Ukraine. I'm pissed off with what's happening in Palestine. And I kind of wrote an anti-war song. So I'm going to do the words from it. I don't know how it's going to sound as a poem, but you know what? We're all friends. Now war is raging on again, and it's happening in our land. Innocents are dying, and it's more than we can stand. We should come as one together and stop the suffering to mankind. And people should come together, unite until we're free, stand against war and politicians, unite for humanity, and end all this injustice, and be one with you and me, because it's more than we can stand. We should come as one together, unite with one voice. We have to end this suffering. I mean, bloody phone's just gone funny. This is the only choice. Too many people are dying. I was doing, sorry. Yeah, too many people. Oh God, I've lost it. Yeah, so come as one together, unite with one voice. We have to end this suffering. This is the only choice. There's too many people dying, and violence is never a choice, and it's more than we can stand. And people should live together. We should make that heard through all the lands. To end this injustice, the power is in our hands. Living in harmony, and this must be our stand. That's the first one, thank you. Right, so we have a bit of a thing going where everybody seems to be doing a love poem, which means, Saf, tonight you have to do political and ranting. So this is probably the only love song I do, but I'm just going to read it out. Walk through the darkness, and I see you shining bright. Still my conscience, my guiding light. And finally I've found you. Life's going to be alright. We're freed from the madness, can walk out into the night. And know you found me, and know I found enough. And together we're worthy, like a rainbow from above. And we'll whisper sweet nothings, entwined like we're possessed of. Calling the moment, tuned out and swallowed in love. So come, feel the love. And together, we've got this life right. And together, we're shining oh so bright. Come, feel the love. That's Kev Shaw. I actually apologised about this all in advance. So this is all Jimmy.
Oh, God.
I'll stop laughing in a minute and actually do it. So, oi Jimmy, we're going down the pub. Oi Jimmy, you ready for the pub? Friday night, we're finally moving. Boring week, it's time to start grooving. Paid packet, time to get spent. Tell the landlord I can't afford the rent. Oi Jimmy, we're going to the pub. Oi Jimmy, you ready for the pub? Closing time, we're getting messy. Look at Jimmy, he's chatting up Jessie. She ain't interested, heard it all before. Life's another fact that Jimmy's a bore. Oi Jimmy, we're going to a club. Oi Jimmy, you ready for the club? Get in, the music is grooving. Jimmy struts, he thinks he's so smoothing. Girls ain't interested, they've heard it all before. They're amusing, it's their weekly chore. Oh no, Jimmy's causing trouble. We'd better hide on the double. Oi Jimmy, start hiding in the club. Oi Jimmy, we're hiding in the club. Too late, the bouncers have seen him. Sweat pouring off, Jimmy is steaming. Drunk Jimmy, he takes a punch. He can't hit, he's at a lunch. Poor Jimmy, he's on the floor. Bouncers grab him to the door. Time to go, we're a little knackered. It's the best scenario before Jimmy gets battered. Oi Jimmy, we're going home. Sorry Jimmy, you're still alone. Friday night, the stars are twinkling. So drunk, my head's so rinsing. What a way to end the week. Work is boring, this is my weekend treat. No more work till Monday. Saturday and Sunday, you know they're a fun day. Oi Jim, we're getting a taxi home. Oi Jimmy, you're still alone. And oi Jimmy, we're going home. Sick in the taxi, the driver starts to moan. Oi Jimmy, we're going home. Sorry Jimmy, you're still alone. Thank you.
We've all had a friend like Jimmy. I used to be Jimmy before I stopped drinking. True story. Right. Well, there we go. So, yeah, let's give it up for our next open micer, who's not got a jingly hat on tonight. But normally Simon is famous for changing his hats at poetry events. But yeah, see what he's bringing to the table tonight. Give it up for Simon, everyone.
We are all half the continent, piece of the mainland. If a clod is washed away by the sea, Europe is the less, as well as if it were a promontory. Or was your estate, or the estate of a friend? Every man's death diminishes me, for I am involved with mankind. Therefore, send not to ask for whom you are told, but told for you. John Doe. Royal Chaplain, 1624. Awake for morning in the bowl of night, has cast a stone that sets the stars to flight. And lo, the hunter of the east has caught the Sultan's turret in a noose of light. Omar Khayyam, 11th century Persian mathematician, translated by Edward Fitzgerald, mid-Victorian romantic. Another quatrain from Professor Khayyam. The moving finger writes, and having writ, moves on. Not all your cleverness nor wit can call it back, nor erase half a line, nor all thy tears wash out a single word of it. Okay, something entirely different. Alas, I am undone. My imagination, my most unswerving servant, betrays me. It takes its orders from another, and its orders are of you, unfurling your body like a flower, flinging your petals wide, your stamen to the wind. Like the banners of a cavalcade of knights riding unarmed into battle. A riot of colour, a melee of merging bodies. An outcry of laughter, an outrage of good humour. A mad clash of thoughts I know not who thought first. For you too are undone, in the least of the ways that I would wish it. Our imaginations could have a beautiful relationship. Simon Parks, Bit of a Dick, 2023. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wondrous in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe, or eyes can see, so long as lives this, and this gives life to thee. William Shakespeare, also Richard Dick. Circa 1600. My love is like unto a summer's day, a winter's walk, a field of hay, an unlooked for gift, a well done task, whispered secrets I've yet to ask. A swift, soft spring, a tree-filled gorge, a busy workshop, a fiery forge, fair of face, full of brow, a steady hand behind the plough. My love is just and true and fair, enough that I tremble in her stare. Sharp of thought, long of speech, easy to touch, yet hard to reach, part, whole, bewitching, fair. My love is like unto a summer's day.
I feel if you get the poetry, that's if you know you've done a good job. I was thinking about that William Shakespeare poem, Simon. I was just thinking, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? You're fucking hot. I don't think that's what he intended. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Redeem, are you ready to take the mic? Give it up for Redeem, everyone!
to get the unique opportunity to decide what's more of a mess, my hair or my writing. This first one is about how a pretty boring evening, with the help of a pretty uninspiring decision, turned out pretty unforgettable. And it's called Ride-In with Magpie. Magpie lived with me for a year before the world shut, and most of the time it was all about delivery pizza, drinking beer, getting stoned, and playing FIFA on his old Xbox. Slightly bored on an autumn evening, Magpie proposed a drive. Clueless about where to go, after a while of phone scrolling, we settled on an outlook in Cromford despite it being pitch black outside. Having driven us out of the city, Magpie complained about being able to see fuck all for a solid few minutes before he noticed he forgot to switch his headlights on. A wrong turn here and there, and we stopped somewhere that wasn't where we were going, but offered a glimpse of the skyline. Determined to find the outlook, we hopped in again and Magpie drove uphill. Why is it so dark again? God damn it. Oh, he stopped ranting before he even started, spotting the little headlights being off again. Reaching a better place to see the lights of Cromford, on the hilltop we smoked a cigarette and asked the eternal question, what's next? Since the view was so elusive, seeing the mystical Cromford firsthand turned out to be the most logical solution, so we hit the tight village roads again. Why is it so damn dark here? This is actually kind of dangerous on a road like this. He complained and took 3 more minutes to clock that he should turn his fucking headlights on. After thinking he's just joking the first couple of times, I had to start asking myself, is he an actual idiot? Who gave my guy a license? In Cromford, we took a short walk around the pretty silent town center. Since Magpie was already driving as if he was pissed, we considered trying one of the local pubs, but I didn't want to risk him becoming even more of a menace. Boosh! The noise went seconds after we left our parking spot as Magpie took someone's rear view mirror off. Not even upset, just baffled and struggling to hold in laughter, I let him decide what to do about the situation, and we finally drove off towards Derby. To no one's surprise, he didn't turn his headlights on, for at least the 5th time that night, but somehow we made it home in one piece, and that counts as a success when you ride with Magpie, even though we never found an outlook. So that people don't realize this, but I actually do a lot of valuable stuff in my writing. So for example, this was my safely driving awareness poem. I honestly don't really have a bullshit deep meaning for the next one, but I'm gonna do it because it's fun, and I've already done it once before, and it's a New Year poem, so I figured why not? And it's a short one, and it's called The Greatest Way to Avoid an ID Check. One of the legendary, if blurry, New Year's parties at Dom's flat. I left in the early morning hours, and he drank until dawn with a couple of friends. When the booze ran out, they decided to hit the Kangaroo, a pub that opened at 6 a.m. so the old alcoholics could get their first drinks of the day. In his state, he made do with wearing only a vest, 1 flip-flop, and a tablecloth around his waist. The barmaid asked him for his ID, and he ordered a beer. Calm as you like, he smiled and said, "Ma'am, I don't even have trousers. Where do you think I get an ID from?" Unable to do anything but shrug her shoulders at those impeccable logic, she brought him a beer, and he got the year started with a big W. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Dean. I was just like listening, and then sometimes I'm just listening to people's words so much I forget that I actually have to go on stage and like sellotape the whole thing together with my dulcet Derbyshire tones. Right, we've got 3 more performers for our break. So the next person I would like to invite to the stage is a Wordwise first, as far as I know. So please give a warm Wordwise welcome to the wonderful Adrian.
Thank you. This is not a poem. Here are some words for your eyes and ears. Here is how social media appears after years. Looking at my friends list. Checking on the names I've seen but don't remember. Seeing no message between us. Seeing nothing beyond well wishes on your birthdays for the last few years on your wall. Maybe there was a like after the first hi, but that's all. There's no tags we can travel with, no baggage for collection, and on reflection, that could be a good thing. You living in sync with the music without algorithm. Maybe you're producing a fruitful orchestra that you share with geography and time. Maybe these words that are framed for what's missing in mine. This is not a poem. These are words that met along the way and smiled at each other for a season. Maybe we met in an office, or a class, or even over a drink. Maybe our clique wasn't intended to be a clique. Are we really friends anyway? Are we thumb-tapping numbed actors? Are we non-binary badges of pride in festivals powered by batteries of capitalist hoodoo? Age is something to you. Are we branded by a boohoo and soul blue to decorate our echo chambers? Because age does something to you, and so does the platform. Because when you're 5 or 10 years deep and some are 6 feet under, you wonder what it's all for. Catch up, repeat the program when you're bored. Though we'll all be archived, is your book to be taken off my shelf? Would you notice? Maybe I don't like the silence. Maybe you're the icon I want in my emojis. Maybe the real postal strikes is not hearts and quotes. Maybe our calling an election is not thumbs up, votes and view counts. I mean, if we canvass our insecurities, we only draw doubts. Maybe we strike harder if we do without. Maybe I miss you. Maybe we misused our moment and the greatest trophy we could say we took a photo of was mutual respect as expressive human beings. Maybe the best vaccine is what we inject for connection, and some of us have different providers. Does me reading your life make me a business insider? If there's no new editions of you for me to like, should I unsubscribe? They say we had more connection and freedom when phones were wired. The same people say music has lost its purpose and value, even though they've been handed greater access. But since we're wireless now, are we contactless and seeking to pull cards rather than being banked on for balance? If we suddenly lost power, would we lose power or just our minds? Is this the grand design to know but not really? I mean, do your friends want your address so they can really see you? Maybe these words sound alike, the way we look and like, or look alike for the boxes we thumb. Maybe this is your heart seeing itself, or a hello or a goodbye for some. Ultimately, this is not a poem. So many jump on a wave and break the bones of a handout. The wise scan and scout for the landmines of canned doubts. Engendered wiles appear to have planned out. We pet fear until it's planned down like planes with black boxes, useful as profile pictures in awareness of a cause. Thrown off course like being expelled for the lack of funds for your voice. We want coin, yet won't carry change anymore. See, more is moreish as sugar unless you came for it. Harried, spurred, or spurned with blame tourists. Our blame tour is sold out with clout and sold to the expectation of participation awards. When hospitality lands you in hospital wards, water makes you think of your oars in every close call. I mean, it's a lottery to phone it in unless you've got your own number, but when you're at one, you don't sleep on what's above you. Slumber is partisan with or without music. Who is individual and collective? We all take notes. See, my money don't jiggle jiggle. It folds. We're quick to coin a phrase, yet won't carry change. Clouds masquerade as magic carpets for those without rain. Rain requires opposing energy, yet we want echoes instead of enemies, seen and believed for our differences, but rain requires opposing energy. We don't keep it the same. Same will be boring. We just oppose, create holes and pour in, are we a seed or acidic? Moorish is Andalusia. Ruthless is the treatment of early Africans in Argentina. They say me not speak your language if I've got a book to agree with it, but sound bites, but digesting thought is harder. Are the slots in our backs or the forks given, or the knives or the price of our markup? Goldman or Garvey, Marcus like Gospels, the gossip pulled, but get your coat, Joseph. Old Hurst said a book of Acts gives sweat-soaked dreams a growth spurt. Tears are just gold dirt, so walk your path so much the road hurts. Nobody's undefeated, they're just repurposed and upcycled. Random acts of kindness are low lightning. You only hate you just desserts when you're trifling. I've been thumbing through stars that became crumbs chewed by sour grapes. You can whine more than carnivals and be made poor by what you table. What does it mean to be clean cut if you refuse the shapes and labels? You can make your mistakes rhyme for the sake of it, or you use the internals to curb them and make a lane for you. And now, if I see no change from a tithe of your offering, is it because I've taken the wheel of a bandwagon never to be owned? If I have a hand in your hand out, does being hand in hand feel like home? Maybe we'll only see material isms if there's a power cut as dust struggles for grip. So if we're given pages of life, are we only defined by what we let rip? Thank you.
So many great lines in that, Adrian. So many great lines. But my favourite one was just like, my money don't jiggle jiggle. I'm sorry, that's the best one. No, I'm ruining, I'm insulting your poetic technique. No, you're very good. Thank you so much for reading. So we're going to have two more poets. We're going to go to a break. Lyra, another one that I've met at Data. Very excited to see you read again. And another great hat. This is very exciting. Please give it up for Lyra, everyone.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to write more poetry. So far this year I've written 5. So I'm going to read 5. I'm going to read 2. This one is about a little snippet of my life in Japan. It's called Bamboo Stools and Etiquette. Wide-eyed wandering, upward staring, slowly turning kaleidoscope of skyscrapers, so hot and humid, even in the jet-lagged night, stifling smells, sounds of cicadas infiltrate everywhere, a vast, anonymous concrete hothouse. You know where's best to go when it's like this, says my new friend. A walk-in freezer, I say with a languid laugh. An onsen. We should go. The word onsen appears in neon in my mind. As I stare at it, a trickle of sweat tickles my temple and traverses my pink cheek. Hot spring. Seen them on the telly, with monkeys in them. Are there monkeys in them? I ask. My friend shakes her head. I visualise the beautiful mountain scene, natural surroundings, trees and steam, a cultural must-do, but something is needling and worrisome. I ask, in the onsen, can I wear my swimming costume? My friend shakes her head. The onsen neon sign flickers out and is replaced with the word naked. Oh no. I can't go. I'm too fat, too pink, too English. Everyone will stare. I mean, people stare at me when I buy a sandwich or post a letter. For them, staring at me naked would surely be much better. Maybe another time, I say. And for months and months, it remains that way. Perhaps I'll go another day, and on I won't be swayed, until the day that it is inevitable, inexorable, inescapable, ineluctable. I can't get out of it. I have no other choice than to get out of my clothes in front of complete strangers. Nightmare. I disrobe in ancient changing rooms, bamboo stools and hygiene rules. Only the pure of soul and clean of body may enter. Soap, scrub, rinse. Soap, scrub, rinse. And once more for good measure. I'm so focused on the ritual, I almost forget that I am au naturel, but not quite. I clutch my washcloth below my navel and practice nonchalance in my walk to the bath. I slip under the thermal water up to my neck. It is bliss. As is the realization that no one is staring. It is the etiquette of the onsen, and I truly relax. This one's called Invitation. The post softly plops onto the terracotta tiles with listless hopelessness. The junk and the bills and the junk. But what is this that shimmers between the gaudy fast food leaflets and dour brown envelopes? Something fancy, something fanciful. Copper plate flourishes could indicate promises of fun and frivolity, joy and joviality, decadent food, and maybe a disco ball to get you in the mood for dancing. There is your name in gold ink. You try and think, who do you know who has a celebration, a special birthday, wedding, or other occasion? You could just open it and see, put yourself out of your misery, a digit inserted into papery corner, and a flick of the wrist to solve the mystery. But no, you want to savour it, take your time, play with it. Like a cat toys with a mouse, you draw out the tension. Take it to the kitchen table to give it your full attention. You can't just rip this open. You can't just rip this open. This is a rare event and one in which you should delicately bend the scene. Where is the letter opener? For if ever there was a time to use it, that time is now. You can't refuse its destiny. You rummage around in the cupboard and drawer on top of the fridge and the nook by the door, but you can't find it to save your life. So instead you use the butter knife. In it slips and widens the slit until anticipation can be withheld no more. The invitation slips to the floor. You pick it up. You turn it over. It says, you are cordially invited to...
Let me this back. There we go. Where was you invited? Where did you go?
That's the mystery.
Poet, like cliffhangers in books, but in poetry as well. Come on, man, you're torturing me. Right, so we're going to have one more poet, then we're going to break. It is the tech human himself. Yes, Guntis, that's it. Putting the poetry hat on, taking the tech headphones off, poetry hat's going on. I never know what he's going to do, but please give it up for the wonderful Guntis.
And this is quite a new poem, which means I might experience some adjustments in the near future, but I couldn't keep it to myself any longer. It's called Temple. The words flew like river. The words flew calm like a river, as they had for centuries long. One day the music was broken and prayer stopped matching the song. The worship went into disorder, not as it shone on the wall. Some gods were pleased in wrong order, some gods were forgotten at all. The story the temple was built on was undermined by neglect and turned into Tower of Babylon, so the fundament was wrecked. Wall cracks extended like trees, concrete was snowing from ceiling, oblivion spread like disease. It needed miraculous healing. Miracle, of course, didn't happen. Reality burned like a furnace. With one hand I was hugging a pillar, without that I tried to hold corners. This temple is no longer wealthy. There is another one being created. So they should suggest me to leave it. But it was supposed to be sacred. Then they said, leave it already. Leave it before you're dead. And then I finally listened. When I left, I was bleeding from head. Well, the new temple is fresh and is bright. It hasn't been ruined by no one. I take a deep breath. I drink in the light. All pockets of stones from the old one. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Guntis, and thank you so much to all our open micers in the first half. You're absolutely brilliant! If you have not gone on and your name is down, you will be on in the second half. I'm just looking at the time. I reckon if we come back about 9:20, that is not a poetry 9:20, that is a normal person 9:20. I'm saying this to myself. Go, have a fag, get a drink, go to the loo, whatever you need to do, and we'll see you back here at 20:00. here, Emily and Rose is going to be finishing off the evening. If you want a nosy at some of Emily's collection, your collection, there are some books on the bar. So when you go get a drink, have a little flick through. She's very lovely, she don't bite, so even if you just want to chat to her about a book afterwards, she's up for that too. So, as you might have guessed, we are going to be kicking off at the second half in usual fashion with our very own word-like mascot. It's the wonderful Richard Banker.
Okay, I thought I'd actually start this with a bit of a commercial plug because last December I ended up by recording a whole stack of songs at Do Break, and the very kind assistant has actually put out about 5 songs out on this SoundCloud. So Richard Banker, if you go in on that, you'll see quite a few songs I played here, and also when I performed last December, that poem and song with a rock group, which was bloody fabulous. That's going to be on there as well. But I'll start by, I've seen Joe Blackwood do sort of songs in the music backing a poem, so I thought, okay, I'll have a crack at it. So I've registered a poem, but this one's called The Searcher. And instead of chord changes, I've just done chords or something like that matches the words, so it goes like this. It's a bit of an experiment, but okay, that's the reason to do it. Okay. House of my own, cold wind and rain, pitch black, lonely dark, blast of wind in my face, such a long way to go, single searchlight from afar, that will be my guiding star. Going isn't easy, but that's nothing new. I scuff stray leaves and grass. My shoes protect me. I follow the winding path. False trails lead off it to places I don't want to go. Searchlight beam is steady, no comfort out in the wilds, only my desire to keep on keeping on. My knees get sore and stiff, but I shall prevail. The walk seems endless, in my quest I shall not fail. Suddenly I realise, friends of mine on the parallel path, we keep pushing forward because we have to. No guaranteed happy ending or safe destination, but we keep pushing onward. What I'm going to do next is a song. It is a song I learned what the arrangements are some time ago, but it's by a guy called Phil Oakes. You know, this is as much as if I'd written it myself. It's called When I'm Gone, and he was a protest singer, probably actually better than Bob Dylan, heretical it might sound, but he was a protest singer. He was an activist, he was a journalist, and also a poet as well. Died tragically young, but in about 36 years he packed a hell of a lot into his life. He was a major influence when I first went to uni and first heard his music, and it's probably directed me in terms of music, politics and anything in between. So it's called When I'm Gone. Okay, sorry, I'm just going to shift the page a bit. There's no place in this world where I belong when I'm gone. I won't know the right from the wrong when I'm gone. And you won't hear me sing on the song when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. I would feel the flowing of the time when I'm gone. All the pleasures of love will not be mine when I'm gone. My pen will form a lyric line when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. And I won't breathe the bracing air when I'm gone. And I can't even worry about my cares when I'm gone. Won't be able to do my share when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. And I won't be running from the rain when I'm gone. I can't even suffer from the pain when I'm gone. Won't be asked to can't say who's to praise or who's to blame when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. Won't see the golden of the sun when I'm gone. And the evenings and the mornings will be one when I'm gone. Can't sing louder than the guns when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. All my days will be dancing on the line when I'm gone. And the sand will be shifting on my side when I'm gone. Can't have my name into the fight when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. And I will be lacking the light when I'm gone. I can't question how, when or why when I'm gone. Can the crowd be up to die when I'm gone? So I guess I'll have to do it. Guess I'll have to do it. Guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. You might know what I've said before, the whole lot to me, and probably kept me going over the years. Thank you.
Everything's fine. This is
Not
how
tripped over everything. Or
This is how it's supposed to look. We put a microphone back together again. Oh, beautiful stuff. Thank you so much for that, Richard. And I absolutely love that song, Buckalopes. We've got to do stuff while we're here, people. Got to do it while you're here. So thank you for singing that tonight. So, the next poet that I'd like to invite to the stage has done all sorts of poetry. He's done I think we call it 4D poetry, when he tried to put back together like an 80s school disco. You've got like the aftershave and everything from it, the lights. And he's also done really important poetry around mental health as well, so it can go either way. And I'm excited to see what he's going to do tonight, so please give it up for Paul, everyone. I don't feel go any higher, to be honest. This might be as high as you're going to get it, I think.
I'll look down.
Yeah.
Give it up. Ready? Two tonight. First one, if it works, is called Pigsty. My son's bedroom used to have a carpet. Garibaldi red it was, with white flecks. Well, I say he used to have a carpet, it might still be there for all I know. It might be there under a pile of dirty underpants, socks, shirts, jeans, shoes, clean clothes, bottles of water empty, plates mainly empty, crisp packets empty, but it might still be there. He's got a desk, although I'm not sure how he can work on it. It's piled high with water bottles, full and empty, plates, ditto, sweet wrappers, McDonald's drink cups, video game cases, and this, as well as an assortment of other things. He's got a bed, I think.
Whatever didn't make it onto the desk or the floor is on the bed. I don't know how he sleeps at night. Maybe he doesn't. That explains the we get each time we ask him anything. He's got a window, but it never opens. And as a result, the room smells of teenage boy, with high notes of sweaty socks and Lynx Africa, and low notes of Bombay Bad Boy pot noodle, infused with sour milk from yesterday's uneaten breakfast cereal. One day, he'll be gone and make his own mess in his own place. One day, I'll be able to see the carpets and the bed and the desk. One day, the room will smell fresh and clean. And on that day, I'll bloody miss him. Sometimes, you know when you write a poem and you hear it back for the first time, it sends shivers down your spine because you know you've got it right. Yes. Hopefully this is one of them. I'd apologise in advance, because sometimes when I do these, a little bit of music in the background, I don't know how loud it is. So I apologise for my backing band a little bit too loud tonight. I'll shout over them. There's a little bit of background to this one. I worked in the plastics industry for 30 years. I know I don't look old enough, but I did. Going well. Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of many guises and of names. I'm here to talk to you tonight about all my fun and games. Some call me high-density polyethylene, or polyvinyl chloride, or maybe polyethylene terephthalate, or it could be low-density polyethylene, polypropylene, or just plain polystyrene. I am a man of many names, but maybe, and please forgive me for saying, better the devil you know, so you can call me Mr. Plastic. I've not been around for a long, long time, in fact, just over 100 years old, but in the last 60 years you've come to know me so very, very well, and let me take a hold. I was your friend and your saviour. I made your life easy and fun. You bought into my disposable pens and razors. You bought into my load of gum. A multitude of throwaway items galore, so that you could find me anywhere. And not forgetting, of course, my pièce de résistance. I gave you Tupperware. Oh yes, how I laughed when you fell for that one. And now I've invaded your homes and your lives, and I am everywhere. And you can't do without me. Oh, you even buy me for 30 seconds, and then just throw me away. Give me convenience or give me death, eh? Oh, the evangelists may try to destroy me. They may screw me up and grind me down in the holy name of recycling. But you can't destroy me. You can never destroy me. Cut me up into the tiniest pieces, and I'm still here. Remold me into another item, and I'm still here. Cut me up and grind me down again and again, and I'm still here. You can't destroy me. You'll never destroy me. I'm here forever, slowly choking my life out of your world until one day I become everything. Your houses, your cars will be built from me and rebuilt from me, and on and on and on until I am everything and I am everywhere, and you can't stop using me, ever. Your world will not end with a big or a bang. It will end with me. I thought I'd let you know, as you sit there before me and go home with your plastic shoes, with your plastic cards, with your plastic lies, eating food stored in plastic trays, with drinks on plastic bottles, and watch articles on your plastic TV about plastic women who ingested plastic into their tits and face and lips, while your kids all play with their plastic toys. Yes, your world will end by me, not with a whimper or a bang, but with me. Pleased to meet you. Now you know my name. I'm Mr. Plastic. Welcome to my game.
Thank you, Paul. Or should I say, Mr. Plastic? Please let me know what you prefer. And I have to say, I do bloody love Tupperware, but I don't know about the rest of you. I can never actually find the lid to match the right thing. It's an ongoing first world problem for us, you know, anyways, moving on. We're going to have our last few open micers coming up for you before we get the lovely Emily on stage. So the next person I would like to introduce is co-director of Derby Poetry Festival, which is very exciting. We've got some really cool stuff coming up this year, which I'll tell you a little bit more about. And also, not only that, won the Aurora Prize 2023, which is like a national writing prize, won the poetry category, and won the East Midlands category as well. That's pretty damn good. So please give it up for the lovely Aoife O'Connor, everyone.
I knew it was coming as well. I'm actually going to do a new poem, which is terrifying in a lot of ways. So I've been jokingly saying to everyone in my life that 2024 is for the plot, because I've had a bad year, and all she is plotting. I am very much like a queer, female presenting, good majority, working class person, and I was like, how can I incorporate this into my life? I want to work on some new writing, poetry collection. And I was like, how do I bring all this together? And then my dad, who I've never spoken to in 26 years, decided to Facebook message me, and I was like, there it is. This is part of a series of poems called All the Things I'll Have to Teach You, for when men come back into your life. And this one's called Ghosts. When the ghost says boo and you jump, it's okay to laugh. It was funny, right? The difference between comedy and tragedy is death. And no one died this time. When the ghost and the shit hits the air and the fan in the corner is on, it's okay to be scared and pissed off. You're not expecting it. It didn't knock before entering, giving you enough warning to pre-book the therapy session. In the kitchen, we hold sessions and seances, gather vegetables like old recipe books, laugh, tell death to remember, to knock, that ghosts are only ghosts because of death, that hindsight is what wise women are passing off as clairvoyance. The shivers on the back of your neck is just air. Be cautious at the table, which has an extra place you did not set up to air. Your grievances, ghosts hold courtroom sessions, you'll find them at the end of your bed as you drift off. Tickling your feet, keeping you from sleep, they'll be offended when you do not laugh. They do not understand that their presence is the death of you, that your head is pounding with all their knocking. At random moments, the ghost will pick up scent and knock it out of your lungs. It will chew on the air, and this will feel like death, and this is the first time you'll admit to the therapy sessions. And at the bars over £1.50 spirits, you'll laugh. And people will ask for anger or sadness or humour, and you'll have nothing to offer. Instead, you'll do what you always do and switch off until it is in a costume at the front door at 6:30 p.m. on the 31st of October, hoping for candy, knocking, and suddenly you're laughing, complaining that you've not been given a fair share, wondering if all absent fathers attend the same disappointing parents' anonymous meetings and sessions. They'll promise that they're doing this for you and swear that this is it. This is your death. And you contemplate becoming a ghost, fucking up other people's life at your discretion, but then you remember that that requires the most misunderstood type of death. But funerals are for the living, so instead of giving up, you drift off. Learn, dip up, go again, turn up to the next therapy sessions, learn new rituals and superstitions, including announcing your presence by knocking, so you are not the reason someone else chokes on air. And slowly, you'll learn that ghosts are only here for the laughs. Make it a sestina, which if anyone writes in poetry forms, don't pick sestinas. They're horrible. So this is the poem that won the Aurora, and I think quite a few people might have heard it. I don't know actually. A few people have heard it. And it's called A Series of Unrelated Small Things. In London, the first ethical society was formed designed to establish a rational concept of human good. Technically, I was born in London, though I've never called it home. On the 6th of January 2021, there was a turning point in American culture. Men scaling walls made history. So my mother texts me constantly, but happy birthday was an afterthought. A woman apologizes 25% more times in a day than a man. Dostoevsky pawned his wife's possession to fund his gambling addiction. I guess I know what it means to be small. A fairy fly. The most un-American thing to reside in the States, its superpower is in being so tiny and human. The only animal to blush, but not the only to use coloration, though when I do, my predators don't consider this blush as anything other than a rush of blood. There are 8,760 hours in a year. I sleep far too much to see every second. If I was to film every moment, it would take 394.2 terabytes. I don't think I could carry all that memory. The heads on Easter Island have bodies. I too remind myself of this, like the earth, the moon quakes, pineapples. Work as natural meat tenderizes. Women are chastised for tasting anything but sweet, so we crush flesh and consume it till they too are like fruit. Your nostrils work one at a time. I was once told the same thing about my ears, mouth and brain. Cotton candy was invented by a dentist, and your fingernails don't grow after you die, but I guess that's why women have been wearing fake nails since they were small. They've been trying to hide that they were dead since they were little girls. Superman didn't always fly. One day his creators got sick of drawing him bending to his knees. Me too. It's been so long since I've worked. Bees sometimes sting other bees. This reminds me of the way women break one another. The reason, I'm going to say this, the reason Sophie mentioned that I'm the co-director of Derby Poetry Festival is because apparently I'm now here to do some Derby Poetry Festival announcements, which is really bad, but I don't remember them, so I'm happy to look at my phone. I'm so sorry, Sophie. So if you didn't know, Derby has a poetry festival. It is co-run by myself, Sophie Sparrow, and Dan Weber. Holy shit, it's been a good few years, if we don't say so ourselves. Yeah, for anyone who got to attend, we've had some amazing winners in the room for our slam, open mic, there's been performance and shows, and we are so committed to supporting poets and writers in the just Midlands and all over. So with that in mind, we've launched 8 months of digital workshops with some of the best poets in the country. Yeah, so you can find all the details on our website, which is derbypoetryfestival.com, because I'm not going to do a Sophie and tell everyone the wrong
Sorry.
website address. Yeah, so derbypoetryfestival.com, also on our social media, which is Derby Poetry Fest, Derby Poetry Festival. We have the likes of Anthony Anaxaguru, Cecilia Knapp, Andrew Macmillan, Rachel Long, Liz Berry, Yomi Sode, Vanessa Kasule, and Safia? Yes, okay. So, yes, and also there are discount codes, which I'm going to tell you now because you're in the room. So you can either use discount code FRIEND, FRIEND, like friends, the word friends.
I'll be there for you.
That friends. Or the discount code East Mids, if you live in the East Midlands, so East Mids, one word. Cool, you'll get 25% off. And the festival and other projects are coming soon. There'll be some more free projects that happen too as well. So, yes, follow us on social media, join us. We've also just announced the Durham Poetry Festival Prize shortlist. So we've had over 150 people apply. We read over close to 600 poems, which was just a task in itself. That's been shortlisted down to 14 people. I'm giving up now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that will also be announced next week. But yes, that's it. Follow Durham Poetry Festival social media. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. There's a reason why I'm in charge of programming and not in charge of marketing, because I can't apparently give the right website address. There you go.
On 3 occasions you've given
Technology, that's
that
good. It's hilarious. One of my first jobs was a social media manager, which I find really funny to this day. They were like, "You're young, you know what you're doing." I was like, I have no idea. I live in a barn in a field. I don't know what's going on. Right, so anyway, we're very lucky to have one of our featured artists for February is in the room. Lovely Trish Harrison is here, and she is going to read, I'm guessing from your 5 Leaves collection?
One is not, one is.
Okay.
I'll read next time.
Okay, well, you've got exciting things to come, but she's going to come down and do her first word-wise open mic, so give it up.
So I'm thrilled to be following the Aurora Prize winner. Thank you.
Sorry.
That's great, thank you. This first one is not from my collection. It was written at the end of the summer when we had a 40 degree, when we had 40, if you can remember 40 degrees. And it's called Trouble in the Garden. God's creation, Mother Nature, Big Bang, evolution, no matter the inspiration, who is not in awe of the wild imagination that brought us crocodile or cockatoo, ostrich, rhinoceros, spectacled bear, kangaroo, but slugs? I hate slugs. I had such high hopes in spring, read all the instructions with great care, nurtured seed to fragile shoot, tender shoots to first green leaf, lush green leaves to nothing. Everything devoured in a single sitting by a slug who couldn't believe his luck. I hate slugs. I'm aware that my courgettes are not of any great concern in the context of the universe, and that a whole summer crop can be devoured and the earth will not, in fact, stop. But courgettes matter quite a lot to me, so the slugs have got to go. I hate slugs. I know that others, hedgehogs, toads, thrushes, depend on slugs for dinner, so I choose the friendliest deterrents. Sharp sand, organic pellets, salt grit, copper bands, but still the slugs persist. I was tempted to try beer traps. I hear they never fail, but somehow I can always find a better use for half a pint of ale. I hate slugs, or I did. They came as usual in the spring, chomped away at those lettuce leaves, and half of all my seedling carrots, peas and beans, but now they're gone. Not one to be seen since those scorching summer days of 40 degrees. And snails too were absent without leave. Other bumptious garden harvests, courgettes, spinach, strawberries, peppers, peas, parsnips, but something's wrong. The slugs may well be hiding, of course, affecting their plans for world domination in 2024, and I wouldn't put it past them, but I'm not sure. And if the slugs have really gone, what else has disappeared before I even noticed it was here? And what exactly are we going to do about it? Now, it won't probably escape your attention that Joe's in the room, Joe's my son, who's in a wheelchair, and the collection that I'll read you from next time is a lot based on, it's called Beyond Caring. It's about my experiences of being a carer for the last 20-something years. And so this is just a little snippet, and I mentioned Joe because it's him who features in it. Brother Jay comments on his 18th birthday. 1 pint of cider, all it takes to mow down my brother and run over a fence. Rapid onset of drunkenness and effective heart medication should not be used for recreational purposes. Who knew?
Thank you, Trish. And I thought my 18th was wild. Mowed down no fences, I promise. Right, cool. So we've got 3 more open micers and then we're going to bring the lovely Emily onto the stage. Isabella, are you ready to rock and roll?
Ready.
Come on, we've got to keep it going. She's not got here yet.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like hustle you on like that.
They didn't even fix the mic. I will be your biggest heckler.
Okay, I'm going to cut to the chase. This poem is for my back issue, and it's called Tarot of Black. If I can't have the 100 crayon Crayola pack, I'll go for black. Black as the gowns of ayatollahs flapping across marble floors. Black as the lace garters on the thighs of Victorian whores. Black as the bogeyman under the stair. Black as the bleak black dog of despair. Black as the twinkling toes of Fred Astaire. Black as midnight in the countryside where every squeak, creak and footstep becomes terrifying because the street lights aren't there. Black as the soil where the spring seeds are sleeping. Black as the tears the Queen of Spades is weeping. Black as a bastard's heart. Black is the place where Amy goes back to when Blake's on a bender and not coming back. Sorry, that's not coming back. Black is the space between the stars. In the beginning there was onyx and ebony, sepia and jet, dashing and debonair black, devil may care black. I'll wear what I want to wear. Black. Egyptian eyes, Chanel sheep, Velasquez velvet. Sharps and fats black, witches cats black, highwaymen's horses, mischief and magic, first footage. Black is caviar, toned from an antique spoon. Black is the place behind the moon. A touch of Dulux black adds instant drama to a room. Fat blackberries in the hedge black, darkness at the world's edge. Black's the definer, black's the outliner, black is the balancer, yang against yin. Black is death's door held open to let the light of other worlds in. Black is the flock of small birds flung like a handful of jacks across the winter sky. Black is the pupil which opens to let all light, all colour, into the eye.
This that was banging. That was banging, Chloe. Now I'm stuck like this forever. I'm gonna announce the next poet while awkwardly doing this. Everything's fine. This is very normal. Saf, I don't know how you got this reputation as like the kind of love doctor of poetry. But it kind of happens.
Dr. Love.
So come on then. Come and romance us for a bit. Give it up to Saf, everyone.
Thank you, Rebecca. Yeah, I think so. And this is absolutely perfect. Okay, I must say the poetry tonight is absolutely fantastic. Do you know what? I've been sat there and I'm thinking, wow, 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 this is amazing. Okay, so I'm Saf Fries.
I don't know if it's love, but I'm going to start with a love poem. and I'm going to dedicate this poem to the wonderful Jenny who you've been sat to tonight. This poem is called A Light That Shines. There's a light that shines within this heart of mine, a light so bright that it devours and torments, makes his heart beat, repeat time and time again. A light harnessed concentrated moments of bliss, a light that I hold so tight within these hands of mine. There is a light that shines, a strange illumination that reminds me of you. Thank you. Right, okay, so I'm going to go a bit darker now and dedicate this poem to my good friend Joe. Okay. So this is called Lost Souls. The city is full of lonely people drifting in and out of each other's lives, drinking and smoking, self-polluting, diluting the reality of what they've become. Lost souls trying to forget, to connect on a deeper level, stretching themselves a little further, pulling at the membrane, trying to touch heaven just for a second. A moment trying to seek the beautiful and divine. The city is full of lonely people drifting in and out of each other's lives, trying to connect, to select, to find love, the kind that got left behind. Thank you. Okay, one more, because you've lasted this long. So. Okay, this poem I'm going to dedicate to my good friend Richard, and it's called Sad Guitar. Don't read shocked. Please don't read much into it, but here we go. It's a very short poem. Okay. You pull at my heartstrings with your sad guitar, echoes of beauty, encapsulate dreams of love. With each chord the magic begins, the angel sings from way up above. You play your melody and it's like being in love. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I was wondering where you were going to go with that when you started off with sad guitar. Jack at the back just said, shots fired. So I'm going to invite Alice Open Mic onto the stage for tonight. Please give it all for the wonderful Harry Slater.
So, I wrote this poem today, trying to combine ideas about the colonial legacy of climate change, the naming of storms, and a vaguely racist poem I heard. It's 11 lines long. Let's see if I can fit all that in. It's called Now. Am I saying this right? Also, there's one word that I'm been saying to myself the entire time I've been here because I'm worried I'm going to fuck up the pronunciation. Because I only learned today I've been pronouncing it like an American. Penance is the shape of a mouth stretching syllables. Do I linger on the I or the sh? Soften the A. The oak rots in a winter swamp, and I wonder if you, too, will be called aspirational. How many boxes remain? To be crammed full of pebbles that used to make up road, each one a letter, a phoneme, a nomenclature of liquid, salted and earned and spilled back. Thank you.
Jump, Sophie, jump.
I would fall over. I would fall over. I think, Emily, I think you're about the same size as me, isn't it? We'll find out. We'll find out. Right. Thank you so much. Big shout out to all our Michaels. I know some of you have travelled. Far. I really appreciate it. Honestly, it's not poetry night without you guys. It'd just be me trying to tell dad jokes to fill the space. No one would want that. But anyway, we're going to get our feature act on for tonight, the lovely Emily Rose. Before I get Emily on, do a little intro. So I'm holding Emily's poetry collection published by Verve, which is called The Dew Point. And I believe, is this your work on the front? Yeah. She bloody painted the front of the thing as well. I'll tell you something. Talent, it makes me sick. So good. So, Emily Rose was the first female Staffordshire Poet Laureate. I know! Before becoming poet in residence at Lichfield Library and co-host of Spoken Word Night, Wordcraft in Stoke-on-Trent. So she's performed across the UK, doing poems around mental health, emotional well-being, and the complications of human relationship. And on top of all of that, she's just a really nice person, which is a lot to say. No one ever says that in bios, but yeah, she's bloody great. So please give it all for our last performer of the evening, Emily Rose. I completely forgot. Terrible host.
That was also. Hello, everybody. I was getting carried away with my drink order then. Which is about normal. Normally, I've got a prosecco here on stage for me.
I'm on it.
No, that wasn't a demand. I don't have to do either. Honestly, I feel so chuffed and overwhelmed to share this space with you guys. Like every single performer today has been superb. The standard is up here, and I think before I even start, like everybody give yourselves a round of applause. It's been I don't know if any of you ever had that moment where like you're gearing up for when you're about to perform, and like everybody's pieces kind of sink in with what you thought your set list was going to be. And I've had one of those nights up until just then. So this first one was going to be dedicated to Jenny, because I think we basically wrote the same poem but from different perspectives. But then you stole my dedication, so now.
Well, you can't read for you, did it?
But no, this is honestly, it was one of those weird coincidences. When I heard your poem, the one I'm going to start with, it's called Blossoming. You're standing at the handrail overlap of the shore as I linger over fading rock pool scars. Snapping crab and limpet flint mimic the splinter of your safety under curious fingernails. While capped on the sea, it flaps, danger, ankle deep at the danger space between us. Wadeable but uncomfortable. Neat tied the lifeguard and whispered, or maybe it was the rocks. Maybe Majesty Moon herself at 3/4 bloat, supping at the earth with indecision. Mouth like iced wine, pebble dash taste buds, ecstasy foamed across sand anchored feet. You looked away, so I'll take 5 steps further to the tide and let the sting of salt against my denim calves decide what is to be done with me. Thank you. See, the problem with having an evening where everything kind of lines up with what you thought you were going to read combine that with like a real struggle with attention span, and it means I've now thrown everything to the wind. So from now on, who knows what will come out. Most of them are going to be from this collection, the Dew Point. There are a couple of copies up there if anybody wants one, and then I'm going to read some new stuff at the end. This next one's called Escargot, as in the snails, but it's not really about snails. Have you ever watched a person eat escargot? Delicate but brutal. Remember that the finest parts are most likely to hide, so initial coaxing is key. A beckon, a tickle, and a twist. And as you withdraw, there she lies, all scooped out, fleshy as a cut tongue, blank and beautiful in vulnerability. The shell is ripe for crushing now, carved and vacant. But I've seen many bathe post-mortem of their garlic blessing, resting hollowed on window ledges, opalescent in eggshell blue and lilac, perfect for filling with rainwater, garden weeds, your little degradations, your unwavering righteousness. Thank you. I should have given a warning really before I started. I have, and anybody who's seen me before knows that I quite often call my sets like the Eeyore portion of the evening. Well, not particularly cheery, but I'll try and do as many light-hearted ones as I can to keep the mood up. This next one is called Slow Jazz, and it is loosely, it's not loosely based, it's loosely inspired by the film La La Land. Have you seen La La Land? Can I get a show of hands? Have you seen La La Land? Yeah. I love La La Land. God, it is also my cry film. You know, it's got one of those that they put on just to kind of make themselves cry, have a little bit of an emotional purge. And I was in one of those moments, like when I last watched this. But it was very late at night, I'm not sure why. So I put it on mute with subtitles on. And it was that scene at the end where, no spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it, they're in the jazz club and there's the, and I just immediately started sobbing because I've conditioned myself like Pavlov's dogs to do it. And I thought I should probably explore a little bit why I'm crying at this, because I'm clearly not crying at the subtitled side of the movie. Because I'm really sad. It's a long-winded explanation for a short-pitch poem. This is slow jazz. Slow jazz plays. So the subtitles say, a single-noted, heart-laden singlet, the musical metaphor for a silent tear, a British cry. So, you know these tears don't spring from fictional entities, no matter their plight or humanity. They're scripted stories or horoscope-like, the way each plotline subtlety blends somewhere into your own first-world soap opera. Slow jazz plays, but you birth the loaded lamentation of each disappointment, heartache, and error. That alcohol slit spill leaked with each individual overturning of the paper cup, aorta-line building blocks of your unsteady soul. Those that fizzled and tumbled with every heart opened, disintegrated with each unwitting fly trap sprung, stacked, then faltered with each realization that you didn't ask for it to be like this, but you're incapable of escaping. Slow jazz plays, and the tribal drumbeat is building in the base of your throat now. Bass lines built from regret and ambition. To open your mouth would be to let out the perfect worldly harmonization of solidarity and belonging, of escaping and setting room, of sorrow and sorrow that sorrow got in the way of hope. And you cry because you're sorry, but you could never say it. Not in the way that you mean it, so you'll probably send over a playlist. Heartfelt, misinterpreted, one where slow jazz plays. Thanks, guys. Just keeping an eye on time. So everybody else has been doing a love poem, which means that I'm going to do an anti-love poem. And this one is just about like that inevitable. I sound like such a pessimist. I'm going on honeymoon tomorrow. Like, I should be a lot more the inevitable demise of all relationships. This is called the theory of relationships according to Pythagoras. Point one, and you'd be blind to call this a triangle. Triangular as all your limbs seem. Too many elbows somehow. Jutted into left angles, one too many ribs that make each breath sound like a butterfly earthquake between chest. But you embrace like a molding, a negative degree angle convex, each cell below the belly button and above the kneecap, part of some complex reaction fusing into one another, or desperate to. Hearts meet at point two. Straight lined, so much less about sex these days, a full-bodied unity. The point of the hips meet softly now as breathless kisses. The sight of an arm draping the shoulder in triangulation. These bodies, the rise of a steeple, the stretch of a finger, the swoop of a wing, but I saw us at point three. Obtuse in all angles, repellent. The touching biceps and minds wandering beyond the conservatory door. I build a ship in the space between us and set sail for hope, were it not for the anchor of a tear against my right-angled shoulder. And I know these are no seas for mismeasured sails. I know the triangular warning sign when I see it. The back pedal got lost in the angles between hips, and I'm waiting for point four, an equilateral, but triangles are only three. Thank you. You would need to know we're going to do one nice, cheerful, happy one from the Dew Point. This will be the last from the collection, and I'm going to move on to some new stuff. How I'll do try and get alright. This one is called Affirmations Number 1. It's great for the new year. As a point of reference, there were never any affirmations 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. It was quite a nice title. And yeah, this is, I still try and live by this, but I think we all fail sometimes. Throw away the mirrors, love. Discard the bubbling and bruise. Remember how each flower knows herself, bulbous and full as gentle earth rolls her into vibrancy. Remember the edgings of glass, the empty transparency. Remind yourself that invisibility is not a gift, nor a fortune. That sharpness cannot kiss and does not caress, that glass will not grow. So plant yourself in the ground, love. Throw away the mirrors. Grow fruits in the reflections of strangers' smiles. Paint your fences yellow. Hang ivy from your walls. Thank you. I'm now in that dangerous territory of phone reading. I also found it amusing the other day that I've just got a little folder because I'm so disorganised. I'll be one in a second that I haven't named. And I'll tell you, oh, this is kind of new, so I haven't named it. No, it's not that new. I just haven't named it. And to bring them to the top of like where your folder is, you have to edit them. Well, obviously I don't want to edit them, so I just added loads of ellipses. So the ones that I've read quite a lot and brought to the top there's more ellipses now than there is actual poem. And I really, really enjoyed that. That's how they are morphing. So this next one is called Let's Look at It This Way. I guess sort of mild trigger warnings for loss and grief, but it's actually after Kurt Vonnegut, specifically Slaughterhouse-Five, and the chapter within it where the planes are going backwards and he sees everything in reverse, as well as the very famous Everything is Beautiful. So this is Let's Look at It This Way. As beads of water fall up from the tile, slip into the eye, streamline on the ascent, we drink each droplet greedily, fill ourselves up with the newness. And what a strange and beautiful thing to feel the body expand with this rebellion, to feel the heavy swell of this anti-nature bloating ourselves on the intake. We begin to name each droplet, place our hands on our soft roundness. Your droplet is blue now, mine is the yellow of a yolk. They pulse like the first drops of rain on a canvas roof, all flattened and flooding. And we don't question when the swelling stops, when we're all dried up. And life turns back into life, and there is no sadness, and no one hurts. Thank you. And I guess on a slightly more positive, but also in the larger scale of things, not positive note, I'm going to read this one about my now stepdaughter. I'm not going to say too much about the poem speaker itself, but I think it's just how we turn our eye to the pressures of society, and at this time 6-year-old girl, I'm like, looking after our kids and looking after our girls and boys and like our younger generations, because I know there's plenty of people in this room who've been through the ringer with sort of body identity and these kind of things, and I think it's something that we really need to watch. Anyway, this one is as yet unentitled, say as yet, may never have a title. At bath time you stand bold, unruly as birth, a radiation of innocence, a whole gallery of childhood. But we look instead at the dulling at the bottom of the porcelain when you say, sanding yourself down with such small hands, I'd be beautiful if I was thinner. And we tell you the most beautiful things are the mind and deep fullness of a loving 6-year-old heart. Your dad will talk later of satellites and stars, and I wish I'd told you that stars grow, confident and unconcerned with their otherworldly cosmic mass, and that you, little girl, are celestial. That, if you let us, we'll wrap up each fragment of you, plant them in the spaces between soil and sky, and show you how beautiful it is to grow. Tomorrow we'll wash shells. You'll say you dug them from the garden, that we are so far from the sea. We'll sit, we'll eat, anything that is your favourite, and the light that pours from you will dazzle even the sun herself. And the last one, thank you so much for listening, for being fantastic, utterly fantastic. Yeah, such a great crowd, great audience, and great performers. I've really, really had a fantastic time. Thank you so much, Sophie. This has been a joy, a real joy. This is called 12:10, isn't it? At precisely 10 minutes past 12 a.m., a poem was written. The location being less precise, we can say somewhere on this our dear planet, one poem was birthed. pushed through crimson, through a prism of metaphor, through cranial channels into cramping fingers, this poem emerges into the world stringy and tactile, clotted with imagery, blue around the lips with the yearning of its own existence. And that poem will begin with a fact, just like this one, and end with a fact even more profound as it grows through itself, as trees rooted through pavements, with a bleeding out of ink, uncontrolled and gentle in its persistence. And this poem, growing and sustaining itself on this, our dear planet, will reach your ears one day. And for all of its talk of trees and birth and our incomprehensible humanity, I hope that you hear, I love you. This was all for you. It'll get better.
Oh my God, Emily, that was amazing. Thank you so much. And that kind of concludes our Wordwise for this evening. So I want to say a massive thank you to all our open micers, to wonderful Emily Rose. Thank you to the bar staff for letting us come here and teasing and boring us and all that sort of thing. And yeah, thank you to our audience members as well for listening, because if not, we're just poets shouting at each other, so you know. Which is fine, but you know what I mean, it's good to have audience. So the next Wordwise will be on February the 23rd with the lovely Trish Kerrison and gracing us with a full set, so excited for that. And in the meantime, take care of yourself, take care of one another. Fight war, not wars, free Palestine, look after yourself, good night.